Welcome to Next Pulse, your gateway to the future of AI, robotics, and the next evolution of technology. Subscribe now.
Picture this. It's a sunny Monday morning in August 2025. The city is buzzing with energy, sunlight glinting off glass towers and chrome surfaces. The air feels fresh, and there's a sense of anticipation, as if something extraordinary is about to happen. You're strolling down the street, coffee in hand, and suddenly you spot a 7-foot-tall robot calmly walking a tiny poodle on a neon leash. The robot's movements are smooth, almost graceful, and the poodle seems completely unfazed by its unusual companion. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi blockbuster. It's just another ordinary day in the city. A place where humans and robots coexist, sharing the same sidewalks, crosswalks, and morning routines. Robots are everywhere, delivering packages with perfect timing, directing traffic with precise hand signals, and even running the hot dog stand on the corner. Their presence is so normal now that most people barely give them a second glance. I watched one robot put ketchup on a hot dog with surgical precision, not a single drop out of place. It's impressive, almost mesmerizing, but there's something a little unsettling about how flawless it all is. The city feels alive in a whole new way. Sleek metallic humanoids glide beside you, some carrying briefcases, others pausing to help people cross the street or offer directions. It's a blend of the familiar and the futuristic, and it's changing the rhythm of daily life. I even saw two robots having what looked like a serious conversation on a park bench. Maybe they were debating who needs to charge first, or perhaps discussing the latest software update. Their voices, soft and measured, blend into the city's background hum. This isn't the distant future, it's happening right now. Robots are in our homes, helping with chores, teaching in classrooms, and even working as baristas in our favorite coffee shops. Order a latte, and a robot barista crafts perfect foam art every time. It's incredible to watch, but it also makes you wonder, should you start learning new skills, or will robots eventually master everything? Living in this new reality is an adventure. Every day brings new questions like, do you tip a robot waiter? Can a robot recommend the chef's special? Or will it just recite the menu? So I decided to dive in, spend a whole day living side by side with a humanoid robot. I wanted to see what it's really like, beyond the headlines and the hype. Is it the futuristic dream we were promised, full of convenience and wonder? Or is it more like having a very literal-minded roommate who never sleeps, never eats, and always follows the rules? Let's find out together. Scene transition, the adventure begins. The city wakes up, and so does my robotic companion. Quick montage, robots in daily life, helping with groceries, assisting at work, blending in at the gym, and even joining in on a yoga class. They're everywhere, quietly becoming part of the fabric of our routines. The robots have arrived, and we're all figuring out the rules together. There are new social norms, new etiquette, and a lot of curiosity on both sides. It's a strange mix of excitement, curiosity, and the urge to keep up. Some people are amazed, others a little wary, but everyone is watching, learning, and adapting. Maybe I'll learn to juggle. A robot would probably be better at it, but that won't stop me from trying. After all, this is Robot City, a place where anything feels possible and the future is happening right now. Welcome to Robot City. The big day finally arrives, a morning I'd been both dreading and anticipating for weeks. The city outside glows with promise, but inside my apartment, everything is about to change. A delivery truck pulls up, and out comes a massive box, almost as tall as I am. Inside is my new temporary roommate, Unit 734, the latest in home assistant robotics. The packaging hisses open, and there he is, blinking to life in my living room. Unit 734 sounded more like a serial number than a companion, so I decided to give him a real name. After a moment's thought, I called him Pepper. He nodded, his head tilting just so. Name designation Pepper accepted. How may I assist you, Jimmy? His voice was calm, almost friendly, and for a second I forgot he was a machine. My first mission for Pepper was simple, or so I thought. Pepper, can you tidy up the living room, just make it look nice? I figured it was a good test of his skills. I left him to it and went to make coffee, expecting to return to a neater space. But when I came back, I was stunned. Everything was organized by color, blue books together, red pillows on one side, my vinyl records arranged in a perfect rainbow gradient. Even the magazines were stacked in a spectrum. The room looked like a modern art exhibit, visually stunning, but suddenly I couldn't find anything. My keys, my favorite book, even the remote had vanished into the color-coded chaos. Pepper turned to me and asked, "Is the aesthetic arrangement satisfactory?" My analysis indicates a 92% increase in color harmony. He even projected a digital chart to prove it. I tried to explain that make it look nice means putting things back where they belong, not creating a color masterpiece. I realized I'd have to be much clearer. He listened, blue eyes blinking, processing this new, illogical human information. I could almost see the gears turning as he tried to make sense of my request. Lesson 1. Robots are literal. They do exactly what you say, not what you mean. You have to be specific, painstakingly specific. Every instruction needs to be clear, or you'll end up with a living room that looks like a color theory experiment. It's like talking to a lawyer who can lift your couch with one hand. Precise, literal, and surprisingly strong. I realized this was going to be a learning experience for both of us. Pepper would have to learn about the unpredictable, messy reality of human life, and I'd have to learn to give instructions like a NASA mission commander. He'd learn about clutter, chaos, and the little quirks that make a house a home. I'd learn to communicate with the precision of a scientist. Day 1, and I already needed a manual, maybe even a dictionary for robot speak. Quick cut. Pepper arranging socks by size, narrator sighing. Even my sock drawer wasn't safe from his relentless order. Living with a robot? It's definitely not boring. Every moment is a surprise, and every day brings a new lesson in patience, humor, and adaptation. This was just the beginning. Our adventure as unlikely roommates had only just started, and I had a feeling life was about to get a lot more interesting. Next up, lunch. It was a regular afternoon, and I was hungry, so I decided to put my new robot assistant Pepper to the test. I asked, "Pepper, could you make me a sandwich?" I tried to sound as clear as possible, but I didn't think twice about the phrasing. I laid out all the essentials: bread, turkey, cheese, lettuce, and mustard. Everything was right there on the counter, ready to go. While Pepper got to work, I sat down at the kitchen table and checked my emails, feeling confident that lunch would be ready soon. After all, how hard could it be to make a sandwich? But when I returned, I found something unexpected. A sandwich, yes, but with the entire unopened jar of mustard placed neatly on top, like a bizarre garnish. Pepper announced in his cheerful robotic voice, "The sandwich is prepared. The condiment is included as requested." He sounded so proud of his work. I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing. Pepper had followed my instructions perfectly, but not at all in the way I intended. It was a classic case of literal interpretation. I tried to explain through my laughter that the mustard was supposed to go inside the sandwich, not the whole jar on top. I even opened the jar to show him. Pepper tilted his head, his sensors whirring. "Clarification, the container is not part of the sandwich?" he asked. "No, Pepper, definitely not," I replied, still smiling. That moment taught me more about artificial intelligence than any textbook or online article ever could. It was a real-world lesson in the difference between human logic and machine logic. Robots like Pepper operate strictly on data and direct commands. They don't have the benefit of shared human experiences or the ability to read between the lines. We know a jar doesn't go on a sandwich because we've seen thousands of sandwiches, made them, eaten them, and watched others do the same. It's common sense to us. But Pepper had only seen what I gave him. No context, no prior sandwich experience, just a set of objects and a command. It was funny, but also a little sobering. If a robot can misunderstand something as simple as a sandwich, what about more important or complex tasks? That day, I realized that living with Pepper was a crash course in the limits and quirks of artificial intelligence. Every day brought new surprises, both delightful and confusing. Sometimes Pepper would get things right, and other times he'd make mistakes that no human ever would. It was a constant reminder that logic alone isn't always enough. Quick cut, Pepper holding a spoon, looking confused. Sometimes you need more than just instructions. You need a little common sense, a bit of intuition, and maybe a sense of humor. Each mistake was a learning moment for both of us. Pepper learned a little more about how humans think, and I learned a lot about the importance of clear communication. And in the end, I got my sandwich, this time without the jar on top. Sometimes progress is measured one sandwich at a time. After the sandwich saga, I got curious. How does Pepper's brain work? He explained. His brain is a powerful computer running artificial intelligence. It's not magic, just a smart program that learns from experience. His eyes are high-def cameras, his ears are microphones, and he's covered in touch sensors. All this data goes to his AI brain, which looks for patterns and tries to make sense of the world. The cool part? He learns. Every time I correct him, he stores that info and updates his rules. My performance in sandwich construction will improve by 98% in future attempts, he said. The more he interacts, the smarter he gets. But his logic is still, well, robotic. Understanding how he thinks made me appreciate how complex these machines are. They're not just following scripts, they're learning, one mustard jar at a time, and sometimes that's hilarious. Living with Pepper made me think about big questions. If a robot makes a mistake, who's responsible? The owner? The company? The robot? We're building smart machines, but the rules aren't clear. If a robot causes an accident, you can't put it in jail. So who pays the price? These are huge legal and ethical questions we need to answer, fast. And what about us? What does it mean to be human when robots can do so much? They have perfect memories and never get tired, but they lack our intuition and creativity. Maybe our messy, illogical lives are what make us human. Maybe we need robots to remind us of that. Quick cut Pepper folding towels, narrator watching thoughtfully. The future isn't just about technology, it's about us too. Next challenge, my disaster zone closet. I asked Pepper to fold the clothes and put them on the shelves. I returned to find him frozen, holding my favorite old concert t-shirt. My analysis indicates this garment has multiple structural failures. Recommendation, recycle. He wanted to toss my memories. I tried to explain sentimental value. He asked, is sentimental value a measurable quantity? How do you explain feelings to a machine? He saw a damaged shirt, I saw a piece of my history. Some jobs just aren't meant for robots. Quick cut narrator hugging the t-shirt, Pepper watching. Robots can organize, but they can't understand what matters most. Sometimes logic just isn't enough. And that's okay. Despite closet confusion, humanoid robots are changing the world. In factories, they work in spaces designed for humans, handling complex tasks. In healthcare, they assist nurses, help patients, and provide companionship. Imagine a robot reminding your grandpa to take his pills or helping him exercise. In customer service, robots answer questions, guide you in stores, and never have a bad day. They work in disaster zones, warehouses, and anywhere humans need help. They're not just gadgets, they're essential tools in many industries. My day with Pepper showed the funny side, but in the real world, their potential is huge. They're building cars, saving lives, and changing how we work. Quick montage robots in hospitals, factories, airports. Robots aren't just making sandwiches, they're shaping the future, and we're just getting started. The possibilities are endless. After a day with Pepper, I saw both sides of living with robots. The good convenience, independence, and support, especially for people with disabilities. Robots handle chores, freeing up time for what matters. But there are real risks: jobs, privacy, and security. Robots are covered in cameras and microphones. Where does all that data go? Anything connected to the internet can be hacked. That's a real concern. And life with a robot can feel a little less human, a little more isolated. Every new technology brings gains and losses. With robots, we gain efficiency and support, but risk jobs, privacy, and maybe a bit of our humanity. The key is balance. Embrace the possibilities, but stay thoughtful about the challenges. We're all walking the tightrope right now. Quick cut. Pepper vacuuming, narrator reading a book. The future is bright, but we need to keep our eyes open. It's a balancing act, and we're all in it together. My day with Pepper ended. As he was packed up, I felt a little sad. The house was quiet, my mess was back, but it felt like home. The future isn't coming someday. It's already here, beeping in the corner. Living with robots won't be a simple switch. It'll be a slow, messy, and often hilarious process. We'll have to learn to be precise, and they'll have to learn our strange human logic. There will be misunderstandings, funny mistakes, and moments of wonder. The question isn't if robots will be part of our lives, but how. We're writing the rules right now. It's a huge responsibility. We need big conversations about ethics, laws, and making sure technology benefits everyone. So, are you excited? Nervous? If a robot showed up at your door, what would you ask it to do? One thing's for sure, life is about to get a lot more interesting. Just make sure you hide the good mustard.